In this video, we're going to look at setting up a template for our technical drawings. And we're going to do two forms of template. The first is the rough template that we're going to use, and the second is a smart template. And I'm going to show you some basic examples first. So I've got my trowel assembly here, and if I go to design and drawing, and from design, I can create an assembly drawing, and it creates it new, and I can choose here my template being from scratch. That means using a standard ISO template, and press OK, and that takes me through to the bog standard assembly, bog standard drawing template, and I can choose all the standard things that I can before. I can choose a view, so I've got my front view here, but I might want to start from the right hand view, for example, there. Also, I want to change how it looks, change my scale, so bring my scale down to 2:1. Oh, it's massive, far too big. If I go to 1:2, that's a bit better, and I can place that there, and so on. And I can go like that, and there we go. I've got my part in when it loads. There it is, lovely. From there, I can click on do my projected views, my view above, my view to the side, and even a 3D view there. Press the green tick. It'll load in eventually. There it is, lovely, and it all looks very good. But it's this template box here, the dialog box, that I'm not really happy with. It's way too much information for what we need, and a lot of it's not going to be used. So I'm going to take you through how to change all that, and how we can make our own one and use it as a template that we can save. But more than that, I'm going to get rid of it. We don't need this. I'm going to show you how you can go design, drawing, and from design. And when it says template, I'm going to teach you how to do a smart template. And you can see I've done some tests here. So the smart template test will take everything on, and external components, that refers to any linked components I've got here. So because they've come from linked from other individual parts, we want to include them, otherwise they won't be dragged through. You don't want drawings for any parts you've got linked from other designs. Say you're doing a larger project and you're reusing components, perhaps off-the-shelf components, you can leave that unselected. But I'm going to do this for this. I'm going to press OK, and this could take a little while depending on your computer. It could take, so it might not take a few seconds at least. In yours it could take up to a couple of minutes, so be patient with this. It's a little bit taxing. I think mine's now done, and what mine has done is I've got a drawing, a render here, going into my exploded view with my bill of materials, going into my individual component drawings, ready to be dimensioned. And as you can see there, I've got all of my basic details that I need on my title block there, with the only things I'm really worried about. So this is the basic way to set things up, and that's what I'm going to teach you how to do. So we're going to look at all these parts and how to do this, because this is going to save you a lot of time. Everything's going to come through as you want it, but then you can go in and edit it. So I think this scale is a little bit small, so if I double click on this, I can change that scale from 1 to 5. Let's try 1 to 4. 1 to 4 is a bit bigger. Would 1 to 2 be too big? No, I think 1 to 2 is okay, because we can then move that around to there. That looks a lot better. And the same with the first one here. I can double click on that. I can make that. Is 1 to 1 too big? Let's have a look. For this, no, 1 to 1's fine. That looks lovely. And we can change all these little features here, and that's what we're going to aim to do by the end of this tutorial. So now you know what we're doing, let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is go to File and do New Drawing Template. Oh, in fact, before that, there's a step we need to do. If we go to our Preferences, and we go down to, if I just find it, Drawing on the left there, you've got the Override or Restore Formats default below. So normally that's unselected and you're in first angle projection. I'm going to override that and change it to third angle projection, because that is what we use in our course and how I'm teaching it. So that's what we're using. If you are not one of my students and you're using this for another method or another reason, and you're using first angle projection, just ignore this step, or you can manually override it so it's always in first angle projection. While we're here, it's a good idea to check the sheet size of A3mm, and we use ISO standards. Other people use ASME or other forms. So just you can set things here as you need to. Press apply and OK, and now we can go back to what we was doing. So file, new drawing template, and I'm going to do from scratch. So again, ISO millimeters A3, lovely. So once this loads, you should have put a block in. We don't need to worry about that for now. So I'm going to go to in my sheets here. I'm going to right click on the title block. I'm going to put new title block. I'm going to give it a name, and in here, so I'll name this one trowel title block. Now you probably name this as title block template or default template or something a bit more generic. I'm keeping mine as trowel title block, and press OK. Now you can see that we've got a lot of stuff here that we don't really need. Anything in black that's already here, if I double click on it, I can't edit it. These are preset. So if I want to replace any of them, I have to place them with new text. Anything in blue, we can go in and change, and these are linked units. So these are linked bits of text that link to specific attributes, such as this one is title 1, and they can be changed for anything else like that. There's a limited number of these, but they are really helpful because they just draw information straight into your design, your drawing, without you needing to type anything. I'm going to set this up, and I'm going to remove a lot of what's here. So I don't need a date of issue. I don't need a revision number. Revision number is great if you're doing multiple revisions of a product, and it's helpful for the manufacturers to know which revision they're working with, especially if they're going by text information and lining up with the correct drawings. Drawing number, again, is also quite helpful if you've got a large catalogue. For what we're doing in our school, this is not really relevant. Document status for us is not relevant. Approved by and approved date, again, not relevant. Created by and created date, they are relevant to us. Technical reference, not relevant. Department, not relevant. And we'll keep the titles, and we'll keep sheet. And now we can play around with these boxes. So I'm going to move created date down here. Oh, that's not where I wanted it to go. There we go, lovely. And document type, well, I'm going to get rid of document type, and I'm going to change document type to project. If I can find project, where it is, project name. Lovely. So we know which project it is, and that should automatically fill in with Garden Trowel. Created by, well, that is the designer or the creator. This is very important because we need to know whose work it is and who's responsible for it in case anything gets messed up. And now we can add in some more details. So I'll start by adding in a little bit of text. I'm going to click on that corner node there and drag that way, and I'm going to put date. Now I can change the font and the size of this. If I highlight that up here, I can change this to 2mm, which is, I think, what the others are set to. But I'm also going to change this to right alignment, just so it's in the right hand corner up there. I'm going to move it out and down a bit. There we go. Because I don't really want it in contact with these lines. I'm also going to change a bit of what's going on here. So this line can come over to about here, I think. And I'm going to drag that way below and way above. And you'll see why I'm doing that in a second. In fact, I'm going to take this even further across to about there. But I'm also going to drag that down to there. I'm going to go to my trim tool, and I'm going to start trimming away parts. I'm going to get rid of that line, and I can't actually trim those lines, and I can't trim that one either. That's very frustrating. I can trim these though, and I think I know why. I think I know what's going on. So I'll just double check what I can trim. There we go. And I can trim that bit there. Okay, now don't press escape here, because if I press escape, everything I've just done will be undone. Press enter, and it gives it as is. I can now click on these individual lines and press the delete button. I can highlight that lot and press delete. I'm now going to highlight everything here and drag it to the left. And I don't want to go too small in case my titles are quite large, but I'm going to go to about, I think there is good. That's where I might like it. And oh, I need to delete that one there. Move across to here. I can get my trim tool and trim up these parts. And press enter. Take this one, move it up a little bit. There, looks good. Take this, bring that over. I might leave that in the middle. That might look good. Take sheet. There we go. I'm going to put another one in here, and this is going to be, I know what I was going to put there. Scale. That was what was important, wasn't it? I'll start from there, and I'll change this to 2mm straight away, and then start typing scale. Press close. Now I'm going to press Ctrl Z and undo that. Make sure you click the right part. And there, looks good. And now I'm going to insert an attribute. And about there. And change from drawn by to drawing scale. There we go. And I might move that ever so slightly just so it's in alignment with what's below it. That looks a bit better. Okay. Oh, I don't like that little bump there. So if I extend that drawing up a little bit, I can go to my trim tool, trim that bit off, press enter, and that's done. Oh, I need to trim that bit there off, don't I? There we go. Trim off the tiny little bits if you're careful. Press enter to finish. For the first couple of times I've done this, I did press escape to finish, and that was a bad idea. And now I've got my drawing block, my title block, sorry. Editing Mr. Kempin here, and I've just noticed that within the title block, I didn't change one of the titles so that it showed the part name. So if you double click on title 2, for example, and change this to part name, then what will happen is you should get your the part name from the assembly appear within the drawing itself. So if you notice later on in the video, when you look at mine, they'll all say trowel assembly when they should say the name of the individual parts. Okay, I'll let you get back to me now. I can press finish title block, and there we have it, a much more condensed title block, nice and neat, only what we need. All done. I'm gonna save this, so because this is my now template, so save this, and you need to choose where to save it. Now I'm going to save it in my templates folder. I'm going to call it trowel template and save that there. And now I'm going to do another one. If I go to file, new drawing template, but I'm going to use my trowel template as the template for my new template. Let's see where we're going. Template section. So I've got this here, and I can have multiple sheets down the bottom. So I'm going to start off having a placeholder, and this is going to be my assembly, and I need to choose the view. So I'll place that in the middle for now, and I want a nice isometric view. So I do believe it's the northeast isometric view I want. There we go. Lovely. And I've got a nice isometric view there. You can change the scale here. Now this is automatically set. I'm going to change this to 1 to 2 by default, and we can always manually go in and change it if we want to afterwards. I want this in full shading, and that should look very nice. And it gives you, this is a standard model that they use to help you realize what it is that you're actually putting your placeholders down for. I'm now going to add in my next sheet, and on this sheet we're going to add a placeholder for the assembly. This time we're going to go for a storyboard, and that's our exploded drawing. And you can see here we have our nice exploded drawing. Again, the scale is going to be automatic. I'm going to leave this as visible edges, but I'm going to put full length tangent edges on it just so we can see all the detail, and press OK. And just in case you don't remember or you're not sure, if I click on this and take that back to the tangent edges off, you can see the difference it makes on parts like this here, where you can't actually see where the edges are for internal edges, or surface edges, I should say. So I'll put that back on just so we can see all the surface edges. I can also add in things like tables. You saw on my other one I had a bit of materials up there. So I'll click on table, and if I just pan over a little bit, I can snap it to the corner there. Automatically it does my parts list, my bill of material. I can double click on this and I can change some of this function. So I don't want a description on there, but everything else, item number, quantity, part number, and material, that's good. And I'm going to close that. Now remember that we've got material on here because there's something we're going to do before we actually create our technical drawings. My next sheet, well, what else can I have? So I've got my assembly, I've got my exploded view. I think we're now ready to start doing our individual components. I'll start by having my basic placeholder, and this is going to be a component front view, and we'll have it approximately here. We'll have tangent edges on just in case, and press OK. We'll now do placeholder projected, and one up, one to the side, and one in isometric. Press the tick, and there we go. Now we can move these around if we want to, adjust where they're going to go, and look at that. I do believe that's everything we need for the moment. You can also do this for any other type of drawing, so you can have your sheet metal drawings in here as well, both flat and folded, and anything else. And you can do loads of other sorts of tables. So there's lots you can do with this. You can put text in here, so certain text will appear on certain types of drawings. This is just going to make life a lot easier, so that everything's going to come in predefined. You can then go in and tweak it rather than have to do everything from scratch, and add all your units in, all your measurements. Okay, that is now set up. I think if I just go back and check everything, I think that's right. I might be happy with that. Excellent. So we can now save our work, and this again is a template, so we're going to call this Trowel Smart. If I can type today. No, can't type today. Trowel Smart template, and press save. And there we have our Trowel Smart template, and I'm going to close that and close our trowel template, and we're now ready to start using them. Before I do, I'm just going to make a change to one of the components of our trowel. Now I'm using handle 2 here. I'm going to edit this in place, so it just allows me to edit the part without going into the opening it. And in bodies, I'm going to right click on body and press physical material. At the moment it is steel. Well, we're not making that part out of steel. We're making that out of a piece of pine. So if I go down to wood, I can scroll down till I find pine. Click and drag, place it on there. It now knows that it's pine. I can finish editing in place. Just close that tree up a bit more, make it nice and tidy. Save that. It's important we save it. And once it's saved, we can now go to design, drawing from design, and template. We can choose from our list of templates here. So Trowel Smart template, that's the one we just made. Click on that. You can see here that my units can't be changed. That's as I want them. External components, yes, we want in this, for this scenario, I want them. Press OK. And it pulls everything through. It loads it all, takes its time, and then pulls everything through. So one after the other, and done. And if there's anything you don't want, so you can see there's a sheet 1 of 6. Well, you know what? I don't think I need a technical drawing for a rivet. I can right click there and delete sheet. Well, now it's sheet 5 of 5. So this is automatically done for you. So this block now is all done, all set up, haven't got to touch it. And we can go in and start doing the measurements and any other things we need to change on this drawing. So again, remember for this one, I'm changing the scale from 1 to 1 to 2. Very nice. This one I might move that over a little bit, maybe more centralized. That's better. This one again, I've made that a bit bigger. I'll go full scale 1 to 1. Very good. And that there should have saved us a lot of hassle. And you can keep using this again and again for multiple projects. It will save you a lot of time and make your life a lot easier. Okay. Remember to save your work. I'll save mine. Save it in the right place. Garden Trowel folder. Trowel assembly drawing. Save. And you're good to go. Right. Good luck.